Dear friends, a massive snake, believed to be thousands of years old, suddenly appeared in a miraculous way near the Kaaba Sharif. It had been hiding beside the sacred site, and when it emerged, people began to flee in panic. The snake was so huge that when it raised its hood, it stood almost twice the height of an average person. Everyone present was left speechless upon seeing it. The most surprising part was that this terrifying snake did not harm anyone. However, its presence seemed to carry a mysterious message, something that brought fear to many faces. What happened next will truly shock you. You will be amazed to know the full story behind this strange event. In today's video, we will uncover the real truth behind this mysterious incident. But before we begin, if you are a Muslim, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Assalamu alaikum, respected viewers. This is an event from that time when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had just entered youth, but the responsibility of prophethood had not yet been assigned to him by Allah. At that time, he was so virtuous and respected that people from all classes of society, even Abu Jahl, loved him deeply. At that time, there was much anxiety among the Quraysh community about one issue. A snake living on the wall of the Kaaba had become a cause of their worry. No one could kill it, because at night the snake guarded the gold coins kept inside a well beside the Kaaba. At that time, there was a well beside the Kaaba where pilgrims threw valuable offerings, especially gold coins, as votive gifts and donations to fulfill their vows. Showing respect to Allah's house, no one offered ordinary things there. At one point, a person stole a huge amount of gold coins from that well. Stealing from the well was not very difficult because the walls of the Kaaba were low and weak, and since it was roofless, anyone could easily enter. Moreover, being in a low area, rainwater had softened and weakened the walls even more. However, after much effort and intelligence, the Quraysh community managed to catch the thief following the advice of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As punishment, both his hands were cut off. After this incident, considering the security of the Kaaba and the well, the Quraysh decided to break down the weak walls of the Kaaba and build strong stone walls there, and also construct a roof above. At this very time, by Allah's will, a strange and significant event began to unfold. The well beside the Kaaba, where people threw gold coins as offerings and vows, was later used for the repair of the Kaaba. But after the first theft incident, by Allah's command, a poisonous cobra would appear every evening to guard the well. In the morning, it would climb onto the Kaaba's wall and bask in the sunlight. History says this snake was not afraid of people at all. It would sit peacefully on the Kaaba's wall and rest, then go to guard the well at night. When someone threw gold coins into the well, it said nothing. But if anyone tried to take coins from the well, it would raise its hood, assume a terrifying form, hiss loudly, and drive the thieves away. For this reason, no one gathered near the well anymore. They would throw coins from a distance, but dared not approach. Since this snake guarded by Allah's order, no one could remove it. Meanwhile, the walls of the Kaaba had reached a state where rainwater caused them to crumble. So starting the renovation work became urgent. The Quraysh tribe, responsible for the maintenance of the Kaaba, began to think deeply about the matter. At this time, a young, wise and just man from the Quraysh, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was entrusted with the responsibility to advise on the construction work of the Kaaba. He stood beside the Kaaba, thinking about how to start the work. At that moment, by Allah's command, a huge eagle descended from the sky, struck the poisonous snake, caught it, and flew away. It is narrated from Hazrat Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu that inside the Kaaba there lived a dangerous snake. When the Quraysh decided to renovate the Kaaba, that snake became a major obstacle for them. At that moment, by Allah's command, a huge eagle came and carried the snake away, dropping it at a place called Hajjun. By Allah's power, the earth split open there and swallowed the snake. It is mentioned in the hadith that before the day of judgment, this snake will come out from near Mount Safa and speak to people. It will be called Dabat al-Ad. Once the fear of the snake was gone, the opportunity to start rebuilding the Kaaba arose. But it was not just desire. Proper planning and skilled craftsmen were needed. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam became concerned about this important responsibility. At that time, by Allah's command, a remarkable event occurred. A famous master mason and carpenter from Greece was Baukum. He was traveling by ship to Rome to build a huge palace. On the way, a storm struck and his ship wrecked near the coast of Jeddah. The people of Makkah, hearing the news, rushed there and bought the timber and other materials from Baukum's ship. Baukum was also pleased to salvage and use some of his ruined goods. When the Quraysh asked him to oversee the rebuilding of the Kaaba, he agreed. The people of Makkah were very happy to find such a skilled craftsman for this great task. Baukum thought that before going to Rome, he could complete some work here to recover part of his loss. Then the rebuilding of the Kaaba began in earnest. All the tribes of Makkah came forward to work together. No one was deprived of the honor of this sacred task. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself participated enthusiastically in this work and encouraged the young men of his age to give up their games and join in the rebuilding of the Kaaba. He was very beloved and influential among the youth. Materials needed for the Kaaba's construction were gathered, and bluish stones were brought from nearby mountains. Thus, by Allah's mercy, the reconstruction of the Kaaba progressed rapidly. When the walls of the Kaaba were raised to a height of 5 or 6 feet, the time came to place the black stone back in its original position. Placing this sacred stone was considered an act of great honor, as it had first been done by the father of the nation, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Thus, each tribe wanted to claim this noble task, believing that whoever performed it would be following the tradition of both Ibrahim and Ismail alayhi salam. This led to intense disagreement among the tribes. No one was willing to allow another to take the honor. Tensions rose so high that the situation began to edge toward violent conflict. One group even began preparations for battle. They placed a bowl filled with human blood and dipped their fingers in it, vowing that if any other tribe tried to install the stone, they would stop them, even if it cost them their lives. The tension continued for 4 days, and the threat of a bloody conflict loomed over all of Makkah. At that moment, a wise and respected elder from the Quraysh, known for his intelligence, came forward with an excellent proposal to resolve the crisis. He said, "Tonight, let everyone remain around the Kaaba so our decision does not leak outside. Since all the tribal leaders are here tomorrow morning, the first person to enter the courtyard from the direction of Mount Safa will be appointed as our judge. Whatever verdict he gives, we will all accept. This way, there will be no bloodshed, no loss of sons, and no hostility among tribes." Though the young men were still very agitated, the tribal leaders saw in this plan a peaceful resolution. So everyone agreed, and according to the plan, no one revealed anything during the night. All waited eagerly for the next morning. Who would arrive first? Because the person to arrive would become the second after Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, to place the sacred stone in the Kaaba, and this time without any bloodshed. Everyone would witness a peaceful resolution. By the infinite mercy of Allah, as the early morning light broke through, that blessed man, sent as a mercy to the worlds, Prophet Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, approached from the direction of Mount Safa. Everyone turned their eyes toward a radiant young man named Muhammad. He was well known among the Quraysh, and people began calling his name affectionately. He was known as Al-Amin, the trustworthy. The tribal leaders exclaimed, "This young man is extraordinary. Look at the mercy of the Creator. Perhaps he has sent us someone whom we all love. Tell me, "Is there anyone among us who doubts him?" In unison everyone shouted, "Without a doubt Muhammad al-Amin is the best among us. Allahu Akbar, our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam." The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, understanding the situation, immediately suggested bringing a cloth. He spread the cloth on the ground, then placed the black stone in the middle of it with his blessed hands. Then he called upon the leaders of each tribe and said, "Each of you hold a corner of this cloth and together carry the stone to the Kaaba." The tribes who had been on the verge of war were asked to send their 4 chief leaders to hold the corners of the cloth. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself placed the Hajar al-Aswad in the center of that cloth with his own blessed hands. This wise and honorable plan was accepted by all. Every leader was pleased, and even those who had vowed to fight smiled, as one of their own tribal chiefs was holding a corner of the cloth. Finally, the leaders together carried the cloth, holding all 4 corners, and transported the Hajar al-Aswad to its designated place within the Kaaba. Then Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the name of Allah, lifted the stone from the center of the cloth and placed it firmly in its appointed spot. All the tribes rejoiced at the wise decision of Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were deeply impressed by his intelligence, and what could have been a bloody battle was resolved in a single peaceful moment. Dear viewers, today as followers of Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how are we handling our crises? Sadly, some of our scholars are fueling these conflicts instead of resolving them. The mutual disputes among Muslims have reached such a level that we have forgotten the sunnah of the Prophet's wisdom. We have abandoned the path of resolution and chosen the path of conflict. O Allah, instill patience, compassion, and radiant wisdom within all Muslims so that we may come together hand in hand in unity.